we are back with our, what did we call this? Look at this. I don't remember. Oh, our Falcon and the Winter.
Spoiler-filled review of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
There you go. Spoiler filled.
I mean, it was 40 minutes. It wasn't too much to happen in this episode.
I mean, yeah, well, this isn't going to be a particularly long review, but you know. So first I'm going to start with this question to you. How would you compare this to WandaVision? Because you complained every episode of WandaVision.
This is what I expect. How the episode starts off is what I expect when I'm getting a Marvel TV series.
Okay. So you're saying that this is much better than, at least this starts off much better.
Yes,
than
it's a. I don't feel as if the writers are trying to trick me.
Right.
I feel as if the writers say, you know what, this is a Marvel TV series and this is a Marvel world, so this is what we are going to give.
Okay. Listen, I cannot argue with that. I think I did. I was gonna say that it's not that I liked Wanda's more, but Wanda, I did not know what to expect. And so I think what was going on with Wanda was every episode, I was kind of curious, like, is this going to be the episode where Thanos comes back from the dead and smashes through? With this is more straightforward.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that.
I'll say this, the reason why people complain about WandaVision was there was a anticipation for how it was written and how it was showed to the public. Right. You kept on expecting more.
Right.
And then when you didn't get the more, you were taken aback. Like, well, damn. You know, okay, we played the sitcom game for about 6 some weeks. You know, I wanted a bigger payoff, but that's in the past. This is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Right. And so I feel like with this one, yeah, we know what we're getting. And so I think, you know, I mean, and that's a good thing. Like, I'm not saying that's bad. It's just that I think with Wanda, there was more of this kind of mysticism, mystique, like, to it. You were like, what's going to happen? But this is kind of like, oh, you know what's going to happen. Falcon and the Winter Soldier are going to be taking names and kicking ass.
Yeah, and also at the end of the day, Falcon and the Winter Soldier are the Winter Soldier has a metal arm, but they don't really have superpowers.
No, I think Bucky got the serum.
He does have the serum?
Yeah, I think Bucky actually has the serum.
Oh yeah, you're right. So he has the serum.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, they could never make him Captain America. He's killed too many Americans.
So yeah, they can't. A lot of people.
Yeah. So I guess to start off, we start off with actually a flashback scene. Because I know when it started, I was sitting there going, wait a second. Wait, did we start off with the flashback scene? Or
no, we started with Sam Wilson's little mission.
Yeah, where army an officer was taken by some military group and basically terrorists, and their goal was to take him and get across the border.
So Libya, I believe.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was Libya. And take them and get across the border, because they get across the border, we have no jurisdiction, and so they couldn't follow them in.
And we'd be shot down.
Right. And so what we see is this amazing action sequence where Falcon is just chasing these guys as they're literally starting on a plane, and they go from a plane to like their air suits, where like those glider suits, and then they go from glider suits from helicopters, and they're jumping from helicopter to helicopter, and all while Sam is chasing them as they're like trying to shoot him out of the sky. And
I'm watching, and it's almost as if the wings are more a part of him, and his powers don't feel as cheesy as they first did when they introduced him in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Yeah. It doesn't feel as cheesy. You know, the wings could close in on them. They're bulletproof. He could smack people with them. It's just a lot going on.
Yeah. I mean, it was an amazing...
Those wings seem to be in tune with his mind.
And even that Red Wing, his little, like, it's like a drone that accompanies the wings. And
That
like
kills a
whatever,
lot of people.
yeah, whatever he can't get to, he sends in Red Wing, which if you read the comics, Red Wing is an actual real Falcon. But yeah, they couldn't do that. That would have been cheesy in the live action.
I like his version better.
Yeah. So and so through sheer force of will, Sam actually is able to get the officer back before they go across the line, and he kills everyone. He kills all the terms. Go America.
And then he rescues the terrorists and
no, he rescues the officer.
He rescues the officer. And then we jump to the winter soldier who's having a meeting with his psychologist or psychiatrist.
Therapist. All we can know for sure she's his therapist.
Yes, we couldn't tell she's prescribing him any sort of medicine. Yeah.
Right. And no, before we get to the Bucky in the therapist's office, he has a nightmare. And we see the Winter Soldier murdering people at like some kind of museum. And as he's murdering, it was a hotel? Yeah, at a hotel.
Yeah.
And as he's murdering the people there, he stumbles into this young Asian man.
Innocent bystander.
Yeah, innocent bystander trying to get away. And as the man is like pleading for his life, Bucky kills him. And as Bucky shoots him, or the Winter Soldier shoots him, we then see Bucky wake up, and then he goes to the therapist's office. And the therapist is like, "Are you having nightmares?" And he's like, "No." And she's like, "I know you're a bad liar. You've been coming here for so long. I know when you're lying." He's like, "No, I didn't have no nightmares." And you see their exchange, and basically from their exchange, you understand that he's basically living an isolated life, and he's haunted by his past
by choice, because she goes to his phone and she sees that Sam has been texting him and he hasn't responded to any of his texts.
Right. We also learned that he's been endeavoring in righting the wrongs of his past. And so he has a list of people that he's put in power for Hydra. And he has a list of people's names. And each name on the list, they're on there for different reasons. Some are people he's wronged. Some are people that he's put in power while he was under the influence of Hydra. And so she talks to him about, did you follow the 3 rules of your list? And he was like, yeah, of course I did. And she was like, what's the first rule? First rule, you cannot do anything illegal. And then he was like, no, I didn't do anything illegal. And we see that he basically took control of this woman's car.
Which is not illegal.
Right. And then she goes, and then did you follow the second rule, which is the most important rule? And he was like, if the second rule is the most important, why is it second? And she's like, don't hurt anyone. He was like, I didn't hurt anyone. And then you see him come up to the car and hit her security person in the face with a gun and knocks him out. And
he didn't kill him.
No, he did not. And now the last rule, was it alert the authorities?
Yeah, and he did.
And he did. So while the woman was like, screaming, the police were coming up.
And we also learned that the United States government issued him a full pardon.
Right. He's been fully pardoned for, I guess, his services with Captain America.
Yes. And then what's the next scene? Oh, so we see him, we assume with this Asian guy is just his neighbor that he's friends with.
Is that what happens next?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
That we assume that it's just his neighbor, but what we come to realize after they go out, they have an awkward dinner where you think Bucky is attracted to the waitress, but you're not really sure. Mm-hmm. And the older Asian guy says, "My friend wants to take you out on a date." Mm-hmm. And it's a bit, and it's a little cute banter that goes back and forth. And then we jump back to Bucky is dropping his neighbor off at his apartment. And then when you open the door, you see the younger Asian man who Bucky had killed. This older Asian man is that man's father. Right. Now, slight twist. It didn't actually happen in those events.
Bucky actually comes back to the diner, to the restaurant, and goes on the date with the young woman. The young woman and him are playing Battleship. While they're playing Battleship, she then brings up the old man's history. Like,
Oh
it's so
yeah, I
sad
forgot
about
about
what
that.
happened to his son. And I think what makes it so difficult is the not knowing. She goes on like, and when kids lose their parents, they're called orphans. But when parents lose their children, they're not called anything. She's like, when people lose their love, like their spouses, they're called widows, but you don't call a parent that loses their child anything. And then when she says that, he freaks out and then he goes to the old man's house. And that's when you see the shrine to his son, which is who Bucky killed when he was the Winter Soldier. Um, we cut. I'm a little confused because we either cut to Sam talking to his handler, who's known as Lieutenant Joaquin Torres, who's played by Danny Ramirez.
No, what we jump to next is the awards. Well, they're at the institute or whatever, and they're giving not giving Bucky, not
Not
giving
Bucky.
Falcon an award.
It's a memorial to Steve Rogers.
Yes, yeah, and Captain America Falcon gives this. I want to say senator. He's a higher up in the government. He gives him the shield,
Yeah.
and in attendance is Rhodey.
Rhodey.
And you're not really thinking too much of it because that there is a reason for us being at this ceremony.
Right.
And then we, him and Rhodey, they exchange pleasantries, and basically Sam's going back home.
Wait, but now remember, Rhodey asks him, why did he take the shield? Because he knows Cap gave it to him. And Sam explains that he didn't feel like it was for him. He felt like it still belonged to Steve. And he said, but Steve told him it wasn't for him anymore. But he said he just still didn't feel right with it. And that's why he decided, because Rhodey was basically asking him, why didn't you take up, you were his ace. So why didn't you take up the mantle? And he just felt like he wasn't ready for it. And then we cut to Sam going back home. I believe he was Louis.
I just felt when he was driving back home, I felt he was about to get pulled over by police for some odd reason. And
okay.
yeah, I guess I was able to look into the future of what was going to end up happening, but
Okay.
I just felt he was going to get pulled over by the police.
So Sam goes back home. I believe his home is in Louisiana. It had
Louisiana, yeah.
It was a very Louisiana vibe. And he goes
It's somewhere in the Low Countries.
Yeah. He goes to see his sister Sarah, who's played by please, I may say this wrong, Adepero Oduye. And she's been in a couple of things. Famous African, New York City African actress. And so she she does a great job. I really liked her performance. And basically she and Sam are arguing about selling their parents' home, selling their parents' boat, because I guess it was their dad's business. And Sam doesn't want that to happen because he believes they're letting go of their family legacy. But she's trying to explain to him that he's been gone during the last 5 years during the blip, and she's in a financial crisis. And she's had to do a lot of things to try and maintain her life with her two boys, because she also reveals that, not at that exact scene, but she reveals that her husband passed away.
And also, what Sam's been going for 5 years.
Yeah, from the blip. And so you see them kind of go back and forth, and Sam is saying like, "Listen, we'll go to the bank. We'll ask them for a loan." He's like, "I'm gonna go with you this time." And what you are led to believe is that he feels like his service to the country and him being known as one of the Avengers is probably going to be able to be enough for him to get this loan.
And what it also tells you too is that the Avengers don't get paid.
Right. Well, you learn that when we get to the bank, the loan officer.
The Avengers are not punching the clock and collecting funds.
Right. And so then we get to the scene where Sam and his sister are in front of the loan officer, and basically it's the standard, like, if you don't know anything about African Americans and getting loans for homes, it was pretty much standard, where the loan officer was enamored by Sam's celebrity and wanted to take selfies with him and everything. But then at the end of the day, that's when we learn, like, well, how much do you get paid at the Avengers? Like, I'm sure they pay you a lot of money. Sam's like, no, not really. We rely on the goodwill of the citizens. And he was like, well, you're not making a lot of money. You don't really have a lot of collateral. I can't give you this loan. And so the sister, Sarah, was upset because she was like, I don't want to, like, I had hope. And now I realize we're just back in the same situation we were in before. So, we got to see a very real side of, what particular Avengers lives are like. We got to see, Bucky's mental, his emotional and mental struggles that he's dealing with. And we got to see the issues of Sam's real world struggles of, its socioeconomic issues.
Yeah,
So,
what you come to see is superheroes do not get paid.
yeah.
There's no healthcare plan for
Right.
superheroes.
And then, we kind of glossed over the fact that Sam had spoken to his handler, Lieutenant Torres, before he left the mission. And they were in some country, but the thing was, they were talking about this new terrorist organization that was on the rise, which had like these helmets with the handprints on them. And I believe the name was Flag.
Yeah, they wanted the world to go back to what it was after the blip.
Because there were no borders.
Yeah, it was no border. I guess everything was a big kumbaya.
Right, there was more unity at that time.
Yeah, when you lose half the people on the globe, a lot of things that you thought were big start to become minuscule.
Right. So then we cut back to a scene where Sam is still in Louisiana, but he gets a text from Lieutenant Torres. And basically Lieutenant Torres is saying like, listen, I was able to infiltrate one of their events. And what we see, and we actually were watching it live as it happened in the show, but two of these members of this Flag organization basically have enhanced abilities, because he literally got his orbital lobe crushed.
Yeah, it's like when you see someone jump out of like a 5-story building and they don't break anything, I think it's you're doing yourself a big disservice to point a gun.
Right, you may want to back up from that guy.
Yeah, you want to maybe back up or shoot first and ask questions later.
Right. And so basically he recorded the whole event and he shows it to Sam. He sends it to Sam.
And he got his ass kicked.
Right. And he shows Sam what he looks like now. And so now we see, and that was basically letting us know one of the main villains or main issues that are going to be tackled during this series.
Yeah, but then
the final scene, I'm gonna let you tell it.
The final scene is when Sam's sister goes, "Are you seeing this?" He's like, "Seeing what?" So then we go to the TV, and the senator or representative from the government that took the shield from Sam in the beginning at the Captain America with the Steve Rogers memorial ceremony.
Right.
He goes, "People, ladies and gentlemen, Captain America has been a symbol for years. I want to present to you the new Captain America." So you see the Captain America suit from the back.
Right.
I never thought it was Steve Rogers. I never even crossed my mind.
Right.
And also he said the word new, but then when they flash the camera in front, it's the white guy with a grin, and you're left standing, oh, wait a minute. So Sam couldn't be Captain America because he was Black? But
no. See, I actually had a debate about this earlier. Sam turned it down.
No, so he was never asked.
True, but
he was never asked. He was never asked.
He wasn't.
They never came to Sam and asked. They never came to Sam and asked.
But he gave them the shield. He said, "Here." So it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying, listen, whoa. I'm not giving America credit. They would not have made that decision. I'm just saying that I'm not necessarily in the camp of, whoa, they played Sam, only because he on multiple occasions said he did not want the mantle. Now we'll see, because that's exactly where the episode ends on. We will see if he feels slighted. He looked like he felt slighted, yes, but we'll see. So
he looked like his facial expression was how I felt. Right. Oh wow. Oh word.
Right.
That's what we doing. So right. I can't be Captain America, but why? How come I can't be Captain America, but this guy can? And then what will make things even worse is if we find out is if the new Captain America is just a symbol, He hasn't been, because I'm not even sure if that.
Well,
if
I
that,
didn't see a new Captain America in any of those trailers when they were going on those dangerous missions.
Well, no, I did see him at like a ceremony in a football field or something. So I'm not even
Yeah,
sure.
I
Like,
think he's a prop.
he's a prop because he's not. I don't think he was giving a Super Trooper serum.
No, they don't. I don't think they know how to make it anymore. I think
I don't
after
think it
Steve, they don't know how
exists.
to make it. So yeah. So that was the episode. I think it was a great starter. We got to see that action with the first scene, and we got to get that jaw-dropping ending scene with this new Captain America. So I'm excited. I can't, and it's only 6 episodes, so it's not going to take long to get through this story.
Yeah, and also what you're going is, I think it's going to be a very political Captain America.
Yes,
Falcon, and it's going to touch on a lot of issues, because I told Tom this in WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when as far as the monetary gain at being an Avenger, where did Vision get the money to pay for the house? And where did Wanda?
He was a very great investor.
And where did Wanda get the money to own a car?
Well, she probably borrowed. It was a rickety car. She probably borrowed.
Still a car. The Avengers don't get paid. Did you see the truck that Sam was driving? Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So there you go. That has been our Falcon and the Winter Soldier review, our first episode. Hopefully you'll stick with us throughout this entire season. We're going to be more committed to this than WandaVision. WandaVision, I was dragging Mike along, but I think, we're on the same page this time.
Exactly. Thank you for coming out, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next week.
You've been listening to Two Brothers at a Water Cooler with Mike and Tom, produced by Jamie Fernandez and Peter Bune. Rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts, and you might find your review in a future episode.